Well, I just finished today's crunches. I did 20 of them. And I thought I'd share for some of my fellow friends out here who are having a hard time getting moving also. Um, what I did to get myself to where I'm at, and I feel compelled to do them every day. So when I started doing this 50 days of movement, uh, 3 Saturdays ago, well, 3 Saturdays from tomorrow ago, I started doing crunches a couple days into it. My main objective was to just move, just fucking move, just do something. And so a few days into it, I decided I was going to do crunches. And I'm glad I went out to YouTube. When in doubt, go to YouTube. And I went out there and I thought, I want to see someone who knows what they're doing to tell me properly how to do a crunch. Because if I go with my own gut, most likely I'm doing it wrong. And I was right. I would have, it was bad for my lower back. It was bad for my neck. So I followed this trainer guy to see how he was doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I could do that. And I did my first maybe 10. I think the first night, 10 crunches, I think. And I remember feeling like I could feel it in my stomach. I could feel it down here. I'm like, I think I did it right because I could feel it. And then I think I skipped the next day and then I did it the day after that. And I went up a little more. And then before I knew it, by the end of the week, I was doing 20. But I wasn't doing them every day. And I told myself, as long as I'm trying this thing, let's start adding this in. And then I thought, week 2 came around. I finished Saturday to Friday. And I said, I think I'm going to try to do 20 every day. Let's try that. Oh, ignore my hair. It looks really awful. Just noticed that. Thanks. Oh, well. And so I started doing in the beginning, and it wasn't easy to do it every day for 20 of them, but it wasn't too bad. And so I did it. And I just finished, this was day 14. So I just finished the second week. And I will tell you that after I finished my 20, I got to my second half faster than I had been. And I honestly could have done another 5. And I recognized that. And so I thought, I think tomorrow, for the next week, I'm going to do 25 every day. And then at the end of that week, I'm going to look at next Friday and I'm going to say, well, how do I feel? Could I do another 5? If I could do another 5, then I'm going to do 30 the next Saturday and keep doing that every week. And I figured out if I do that for the course of this 50 days, week 7, which would be the final week, and then there's that 50th day, week 7, I would be at 45, assuming every week I could go up 5. I mean, I'm not going to force myself to do it, but if I get to a Friday and I'm like, that was still flipping hard, man, then I'll just do the same. My motto will be more of the same or more, but never less. So as long as I can keep up with the same pace, I'm going to keep going that way. And so my plan is if I get to week 7, and sure enough, I'm doing 45, when I'm done with that week, as long as I can get through that Friday, then that last day, that Saturday, day 50, I'm going to do 50, which I can't even imagine me doing 50 of anything, let alone stomach crunches. So that's my goal. That's my plan. And then after that, if I can get that far, or whatever I get to, maybe I only get to 35 or 40, that's fine. But if I can get to that, then I'm going to determine, okay, so maybe going forward, I make it to 50 eventually, and then that's where I stop. I don't do more than 50 a day. But I want to determine a way to get to an amount that I can do every day, It's got to be a quantity that I can achieve. I don't want to set myself up to fail or go backward. So I want to do it reasonably in a way that I can do, that I work myself up to. So it becomes just something that I do and not something that I struggle with every day. So hopefully, it happens when I want it to happen. Maybe it happens a few weeks later, whatever. But I'm going to try to get to 50. So every day that just becomes something I do every day. I do 50 crunches each day, and then whatever else I'm going to try to do. And so the thought is, by doing so, I'm not only creating that habit, but I'm also creating a norm, like a new norm, a new normal. And I think, I don't know anything about this shit. I really don't. And I know where I'm at now versus 30 years ago, when it would have been a lot easier to get to that than it is for me now at 55 and at my weight and all. I know that if I pace myself reasonably and I set realistic expectations, and I don't look at it as like, it's not over in 50 days. I know it's not over in 50 days, but I have to set a benchmark somewhere so that I go, okay, let's look back. What worked? What didn't work? Let's do something different. Let's do this the same. That's the only way that I'll succeed, because that's the way I've only succeeded in other things in life. Is I have to have something for closure, but I also have to have something for measurement. So we'll see how it goes. But if you're trying to move or you have tips, I always welcome them. I think everything through, and if it works for my capabilities and any limitations I have, I'll certainly try. I'll try anything as long as I'm capable of doing it. Sometimes my body just isn't capable of certain things, but I'm always open to suggestions. So thanks for listening.